Also, hold on. Yeah, okay. No. All right, so Moist Critical. This is a porn too. Hold on. This is actually how is this? Moist Critical situation is great. What the fuck is this? Stop. It's been 24 hours. Sneeko. It's been 24 hours and you still have it uploaded. The debate. Like you said. What are you afraid of? No edits? This time around? And be a man of your word. Oh. So what the fuck happened?
It's important to talk to cancel people like this because you have access to the biggest platform. And again,
I'm always willing to talk to people.
Like, yeah, you are, but it's different. Most people aren't. Most people aren't because, and you're probably not even going to be able to upload this on your YouTube channel, which is fine. It's not going to get the millions of views. We'll see if you upload it, but are you going to upload it? You're not.
I probably will. Yeah,
Probably doesn't the amount of internet he's on.
You edited it up, though.
Really?
You cut it up.
Well, that's healthy.
I gave you the full.
That is healthy. That is healthy. That is healthy.
Thing so you could post the full thing. The
Yeah,
only reason I did that was so it wasn't just a one-to-one from it. That's all.
Okay.
But it still had all of our conversation.
It's important to talk to.
I talked to Sneeko. Sneeko is horrible. What is this? Okay. Moist Critical is going on a different hiatus after getting cooked by Sneeko in a debate. Is this true? Your viewers turned on because last time they had a debate, Sneeko didn't look good at all. Your viewers turned on you for saying trans kids can cut their piece. What the fuck? Whoa. Your viewers turned on you for saying trans kids can cut their piece off. Just tell the truth, Charlie. You don't need to pander to the rainbow.
And now I give a perspective on something that immediately gets misconstrued. And I do recognize a lot of it's my fault. I assumed that Sneeko was talking in hyperbole about a 9-year-old getting their dick cut off because I didn't have the assumption that anyone thought that is how transitioning works. There is, under no circumstances, any legality behind a kid saying, I want to change genders, and then immediately going in and getting their dick cut off. That doesn't happen. I thought he was just talking in hyperbole. Obviously, no one says that's good. That's not at all what I was fucking saying. And now I give
Okay. Hi, everyone. Effective immediately, Charlie has made the decision to leave both the official podcast and Red Thread. He wants to go on a different hiatus to scale back his time spent on the internet. We obviously wish him the best, for everyone to respect his decision and for all to know that the show will always be open to him to drop by and talk shop should he wish to return. Official podcasts, Red Thread, and Criminally Stupid are not going anywhere in live this announcement. I don't know how popular this podcast is, but I mean, Charlie never needed, I guess, a podcast. I mean, I guess ultimately it'd be a place to talk about his thoughts and so on with various people. I heard about his podcast before. I never watched his podcast at all. No, though to be fair, I don't watch podcasts that often anyway, personally speaking. Charlie is such a retard for agreeing to that. I doubt that more than 5 to 10 kids have ever done that. Even trans people don't agree that trans kids cutting it off is okay. Well, hold on. Either are we talking about either cutting it off or I mean, because we're talking about also the opposite too, where maybe a 9-year-old or 8-year-old or a 7-year-old girl wants to also come like a boy. As far as I understand, there are arguments that doing it earlier is actually better if the kid is genuinely wants to transition. What's the term called? I think it's medically called some sort of identity disorder, gender identity disorder. No, dissociative identity disorder. One of those terms. Either way, but you have to kind of prove that with like a lot of you have to prove that the person mentally believes that they're in the wrong body, and I think it's hard to gauge when you're a child, obviously, which is why more often than not, the cutoff, people are okay or more comfortable in a general sense when you're doing it like 18 onwards. But I know it's like easier for you to go through the treatment of transitioning when you're younger. It's easy to actually do that. Gender dysphoria. Thank you. So hormone blockers are probably the shit that would happen way before actually it cutting off. I mean, well, okay, when we're talking about like cutting it off, I think because based on what he said there, he's saying how he's not saying that's what he said. He thought that he's being hyperbolic. Sneeko was. He's talking about what he so effectively what you kind of gave from his words in this clip is that according to what he would kind of perceive, as far as I understand, is that if you want to have someone that was under, let's say, the age of 12 go through a transition, that'd be fine as long as they go through the proper procedure wherein which they actually do the research, they're actually able to gauge that person, that child's mental state, and see if it's actually appropriate for them to actually go through that transition. I mean, if he is leaving because of that, or not, when I say leaving, I mean when he's taking a break, I suppose, from uploading content and so on. I don't know if he's actually like taking a break from streaming. He said it in a super weird way, though, to be honest. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's hard to qualify all the damn time what you mean. I mean, I know some guy, what's this? This is clickbait. Charlie is not leaving the internet. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had a feeling. This is clickbait. Charlie's not leaving the internet. He is stepping away from the podcast. If you read the included Patreon post, it says that Jackson confirms that he will have no effect on this normal content creation. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Is making that decision for that child's life. If that's the path they want to go down, it's like choosing a fucking sport. You can do what you want to do.
No, it's not.
You can do what you want to do?
No, it's not. You go play
Holy shit. Woo!
sport, you quit, nothing changes. You cut off your dick, you can't glue it back on. This guy's a brick, man. This guy's a brick. I thought he was smarter than this, man.
Or if you're a girl gonna be a boy, then I guess putting those things on in the first place, or however it works, can they come off?
On God, I thought this guy was smarter than this. What did he just say right there? What was that? Is this photoshopped? This is AI. Why did Sneeko let him say that, man? Well, what did he just say?
Yeah, that is not harming anybody.
It literally harms their body.
Oh.
Their body changes physically. They have the highest suicide rate out of any demographic.
It's their decision to make. It is their choice.
All right, here's what I will say, okay? Look, fuck. There are two sides. I'm not trying to fence it here, because to me, I actually prefer if it was 18 older, full stop. To me, I think it gets way too gray. I think it's way too hard to discern for a child, for themselves to discern if they should actually be male or female. Or like, I should say they're in the wrong body, I should say. I think that's something that you have to really come to terms with over the course of living a life. Rather than, okay, you just kind of assume that when you're 12 years old, it's like, you're 12 years old, what do you really know? Like, do you actually appropriately know yourself to the point where you can actually gauge that you should be a male or you should transition? I don't know if you actually know that. I don't know if it's even possible at that point in time, honestly. However, it is a fact that we do live in a country in which you should be able to do, for the most part, the things that you want to do to better your life, okay? That's just a fact. That's the country we live in. It's called America. Well, it's the best nation on the planet, by far, I'd argue. However, the idea is that, look, because we're seeing Nick Merckx right here. I think it's Nick Merckx. I'm pretty sure that is Nick Merckx. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, right. Yeah, right now I'm looking at news. Yeah. But Oh, sorry, that's Nick Merckx. Hold on. Right now, I'm just kind of going through this thing with Charlie, where Charlie, he's like taking a step back from some of the stuff with the internet drama and I guess, thoughts and so on and so forth. So he's taking a step back right now for the time being. And I guess because they're saying he had a discussion with Sneeko about a lot of the trans stuff and the idea of having someone that's, let's say, a 9-year-old go through transitioning. And then everyone's being very hyperbolic about it, whereas like, cut your dick off, end the story. You can't fucking do that. You can't decide that shit. Again, if this is something that is a consensus of everybody in the family, so let's say you have to prove that this person is actually medically sound, mentally sound. You have to prove that that it's something that the parents have discussed with the child. The child goes through rigorous therapy to see if they're genuinely thinking that they're in the wrong body. Like, you have to do a lot of work to mentally gauge if someone of that age should actually be going through a transition. But should it be possible though? I mean, technically speaking, if we want to have a country that is free and everyone should be able to do on paper what they can do to better their lives to themselves, for themselves, whether that's going through, whether you're going to be, whether you want to marry someone of the same race or not same race, same sex, whether you want to go through transitioning, that's part of the process. And I mean, I can understand why it devastates people for sure, without no doubt. But yeesh. Even though I'm like, oof, that's something you have to tolerate, I think you have to tolerate that, and like, no matter what, if you want to see genuine progress in the country, quote unquote, that's part of the deal. That's part of the package of this country. I know it's not the most popular, I will say that. Like, for example, Merckx right here, I think got a lot. Like, so Nick Merckx, I remember, got a lot of backlash when he had his trans comments, but then also got a lot of support. And I'm pretty sure more folks support what he says about trans people rather than the people that disparage what he said. I think he lost, because I think he even lost a Call of Duty skin over that. I think so. I think like he had a Call of Duty skin or a Call of Duty gun or a Call of Duty themed something that was official. And because he said what he said, against trans people, they took that away from him. No, he's not. No. I'm just saying he had comments about trans folks. I think earlier this year. I think so. And then now he's commenting on the whole Sneeko and Charlie thing, where I think this is the reason why Charlie is leaving ultimately. Well, that's what folks are assuming. So yeah, fine. So yeah, he got an operator skin. Yeah, but Nick didn't care. Then as far as I understand, people support what he's saying quite a lot. Like, yeah, obviously, because listen, I don't have kids, but if I had kids and I thought to myself, okay, I have a 9-year-old son or 9-year-old daughter, and she wants to become, or she feels that she's in the wrong body, and then she is going to transition from a boy or from a girl to a boy. That's like in your first mind, like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You have no idea. You're only 9 years old. Like, how much of life have you actually experienced to properly gauge that you should be able to transition? Like, right now, your intrusive thoughts could literally change once you hit puberty. Like, literally, you haven't got through puberty yet. What? Like, you could completely change your mind, like 2 years, 1 year, So that's something you probably think to yourself when you're like, if you have a son or if you have a daughter that goes through that. And so you probably won't support it immediately. That's my guess here. Again, I wouldn't know. I don't have kids. Let alone gone through that. But again, the option I think should still exist for someone to go through that, particularly if we want to abide by our principles in this nation. All right, a nation where you should be able to do these things. Which I think folks even talk about the idea of like assisted suicide, where folks want to, if they actually want to kill themselves, they should go through that medical procedure to actually terminate their own lives. And if that's what they really want to do, then that option should be there. So it's tough. It's tough. You think Cole's a pimp? What the fuck does that mean? Cole has kids. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Stop. Listen, I am not that promiscuous. Allegedly. You don't need to know how many kids I got. 0. Allegedly. No idea why grown adults would listen to kids about stuff unless the adults just protecting their own shit projecting their own shit to the kid. I mean, part of it could be that, for sure. But at the same time, as far as I understand, it is medically better for people to go through transitioning earlier in their lives rather than later in their lives. It's harder to transition once your body is kind of set, and then you trying to go through, because it's more money, it's more painful, it's more time, and so on and so forth. But if you do it earlier, it's a much easier process to transition, but also more riskier, because do you really know if you want to be the opposite sex when you're 9 or 10 or 11 years old? So it's a doozy. But obviously, here we go. Yeah, actually, it's right here. Holy fuck. Imagine comparing underage chemical castration. Hey, let me get other news. It's a rabbit hole that I don't want to dig too far in. I just want to see why Charlie's getting he's saying sayonara for a little bit, or he's dialing it down, I should say, with the content. Okay, all right. So let me